Your emotions are a pivotal aspect of being human. If you allow someone to gain control over your emotions, you give them control over you. Stoicism offers us a solution in controlling our emotions and not letting others control us through our emotions. In this video, we will talk about 15 Stoic lessons that we can use that will allow us to master our emotions and safeguard them from anyone that wants to damage them. Before we start, I would like to thank all of you for watching. Number 1. Learn to observe your emotions without reacting. The ancient Stoics understood that emotions arise involuntarily, but our response remains a choice. When you find anger, anxiety, or other difficult feelings swirling within, consciously pause and adopt the stance of an objective, curious observer. Examine the emotion with radical acceptance, analyzing its nature and triggers without judgment. By creating space between the feeling and your reactions, you gain power over its influence. Implement a visualization technique the Stoics employed. Imagine your emotion as a cloud passing through the sky. It has arrived unbidden and will soon pass. You watch it calmly, noticing shapes and movements but letting it drift onward. This mindfulness exercise lets you experience the feeling without becoming the feeling, retaining self-possession. Repeat a centering mantra like, "This too shall pass." Know that the intensity will ebb just as it flowed in. Emotions are temporary visitors, not directors of your inner domain. Channel the mindset. Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote about when he felt overwhelmed by duties or external events. Unflustered, unhurried, composed. Your power lies not in blocking emotions but in observing their entrance with equanimity until they depart. You master turbulent feelings by simply allowing space for their expression, then letting them go. Number 2. Label your emotions to increase self-awareness. The Stoics understood that clearly defining emotions as they arise promotes mastery over reactive behavior. By consciously applying specific labels like anger, irritation, joy, anxiety as feelings surface, you claim an enhanced bird's-eye view, allowing wiser responses. Implement a simple tactic. During tense moments when distressed emotions grip you, pause and silently name what you feel boiling up. Verbally state it internally even if the word seems too intense. Assign the emotion its proper term: outrage, jealousy, insecurity. This gesture of naming fosters instant awareness, transferring impulsive reactions into more conscious processing. As the prominent Stoic teacher Epictetus said, when you experience intense anger, instead of lashing out, say to yourself, "I am now feeling angry." By doing so, you shift perspective from emotion-driven reaction to impartial observer. This space lets feelings flow through without clinging as identity or unleashing regrettable decisions. Labeling emotions functions similarly for inner crisis resolution. It enables responding appropriately instead of intensifying the storm's chaos by adding reactive fuel. Once named, emotions assume proper proportion relative to our true priorities. We see them as passing clouds rather than internal reality. So implement a regular check-in routine, especially during turbulence. What am I feeling in this moment? By naming the sensation directly, you claim power over its fallout. Even intense emotions shrink back as we define boundaries through courageous self-awareness by applying precise labels. Number 3. Accept all your emotions, even the uncomfortable ones. A key pillar of Stoic philosophy is embracing emotions in their rawness rather than avoiding, resisting, or masking them. By radically accepting even intense, socially unacceptable feelings like anger, anxiety, or envy when they strike, you prevent destructive repression. Think of emotions like unruly children acting out when ignored by parents. They escalate chaos to command attention. Stoics advise fully welcoming all feelings with patient acknowledgement. Let them speak even if the message proves difficult. Set aside judgments and just listen. Create space for the feeling to express itself openly to you without constraint. Tell yourself, "It's okay, I feel this way right now." Sever self-criticism or demands to justify the emotion. Radical acceptance means allowing all visitors, not just ones you deem pleasant or appropriate. By consciously validating emotions like a compassionate friend, you short-circuit repression that tries to twist natural human experience. This avoids destructive inner conflict that pits parts of yourself against each other. All emotions become welcomed rather than banished. As painful sensations get fully felt and digested, their grip loosens naturally. Stay with the feeling until it plays itself out instead of trying to prematurely escape discomfort. Settle in with curiosity about what the emotion has to teach you in that moment. Let emotions run their course without friction, like leaves floating down a stream until out of sight rather than blocking the flow. Fighting natural currents only breeds turmoil. As Stoics know, what you resist persists. But radical acceptance masters emotions' movements through conscious release rather than control. Number 4. Reframe unhelpful thoughts. Stoicism emphasizes that when difficult emotions grip you, shifting perspective on the triggering event often diffuses what feelings remain attached. Your beliefs dictate emotional reality. Examine closely to spot irrational or extreme mental filters needlessly intensifying pain. For example, the emotion of anxiety often links to exaggerated notions of future catastrophe like, everything will go horribly wrong if X happens. Counterproductively anxious thoughts with a dose of reality. How likely is the worst-case scenario versus more moderate troubleshooting? Anger similarly connects to judgmental thoughts about mistakes or obstacles being intolerable failure, rather than inevitable setbacks that you can handle through flexibility and wisdom. Catch yourself when demanding perfection or fairness to unhealthy degrees. Reappraise the situation through the lens of flexibility and wisdom. It's important to remember, emotions themselves are neither positive or negative until we project meaning. Our thoughts superimpose significance for how to feel. Two people can interpret one event many contrasting ways. Reality is neutral until our beliefs color it so. Practice consciously swapping extreme mental filters for more measured, accepting ones. When you overlay alarmist, crisis mode beliefs onto challenges, chaotic emotions follow suit. But by rewriting the script to emphasize manageability, you master inner terrain. As the philosopher Epictetus declared, people are disturbed not by events, but by their view of them. Ensure your thoughts populate your inner world with allies rather than enemies attacking peace. Stoic reappraisal puts you back in the driver's seat, releasing emotions from irrational or overblown beliefs, magnifying suffering beyond necessity. Number 5. Don't act immediately when experiencing strong emotions. A core Stoic discipline involves resisting knee-jerk reactions when gripped by intense emotions like anger, frustration, or resentment. As Epictetus warned, don't let the force of an impression when it first hit you knock you off your feet. Just say to it, hold on a moment, let me see who you are and what you represent. By building the habit of strategic delay, you deny wayward feelings control over your behavior, maintaining reason's jurisdiction. Emotions grow authority through hasty expression, like a reckless boss seizing power while the real CEO stays absent. Interrupt this hostage scenario. When volatile emotions strike, declare formal timeout. Tell them, I see you but cannot grant an audience yet. Buy time so the intensity naturally abates rather than handing them policy-making keys. Use delay to summon your grounded wisdom rather than letting emotional extremes dictate destructive actions. This act of willpower strengthens each time it's practiced. Imagine emotions like unruly protesters trying to storm parliament and declare anarchy just because crowds swell temporarily. You firmly tell them, I will listen once the chaos recedes. Refuse rewarding theatricality. Apply this rule especially for emotions involving other people. Communicate when calm. Impulsive fight reactions frequently incur damaging conflict payback. Wait patiently for your equanimity to stabilize before deciding responses. Time naturally balances extremes given space. Wise decisions follow from centered stillness as emotions shrink to proper size without reacting prematurely. Sometimes doing nothing proves the most powerful response. The Stoics knew that mastering timing equals mastering self. Number 6. Use your body to shift your emotional state. The ancient Stoics understood emotion's physical dimension. That distressed feelings manifest physiological changes like tensed muscles, irregular breathing, knotted insides, or racing heartbeats. By deliberately shifting body state, you rapidly alter associated moods. When anger or anxiety strikes, pause the mental spiral and consciously scan your physical condition. Notice areas of contraction, jaw, shoulders, fists, chest. Then begin systematically relaxing each part. Soften the forehead, unclench the stomach, slow the breathing. Feel sensations start to ease as calm gets restored. Implement mobile mindfulness practices. Leave stressful environments for short mindful walks, preferably in nature, while focusing attention on movement sensations. Feel the deliberate steps reconnect to here and now presence, loosening emotions' grip. Try restorative yoga poses that discharge turbulence through stretches opening clenched spaces with compassionate awareness. Emotional harmony follows physical release. Stoics knew that reason alone cannot fully master storms within an agitated vessel. Regulate the body's rhythms first so the mind can follow its steadier cadence back to stillness. Ancient Greek and Roman Stoic temples often centered physical movement and athleticism to temper student passions, teaching integral mind-body wisdom. Care for the body and the emotions follow. Next time emotional chaos bubbles up, gently shift gears into calming movement. Walk, stretch consciously, breathe slowly. Master inner climate by adjusting outer weather patterns first. The body's harmony sets emotional tone. Number 7. Express emotions appropriately. Stoics strike a balance, acknowledging emotions fully without either forced suppression or venting reactions that breach wisdom. Constructive expression means releasing feelings to prevent festering while retaining composure. Implement private cathartic release rituals before entering public situations needing level-headedness. List fears pre-performance to discharge anxiety's grip. Scream loudly into a pillow to diffuse irritation. Write stream of consciousness to process sadness rather than projecting it. Confide in trusted friends who hear you non-judgmentally as feelings unfold. Their compassionate witnessing lessens the urge towards extremes of escapism or volatile acting out. Feel listened to so the emotion can empty from your system. Channel strong anger into fierce sport or manual labor. Hammer nails, dig dirt, sprint hard. Expend fury harmlessly through bodily feats, melting frustration so reason returns. Violence towards objects still disturbs soul's tranquility, so avoid breakages. For chronic emotional repression, schedule mini breakdowns in safe environments. Set a timer releasing feelings formlessly without judgment or analysis. Cry deeply for 2 minutes even sans apparent reason if long overdue. Permit emotions their needed occasional outburst under supervision of wisdom. Like wild horses, emotions turn destructive when confined but grow healthy when allowed free running in designated areas. Construct outlets permitting feelings, measured expression without poisoning your days constantly. Master emotions by neither total ignoring or obsessed dramatic reaction. Maintain sovereignty through flexible, tailored management approach. Emotions stay servants, not masters, with consistent structural oversight. Number 8. Cultivate compassion and self-kindness. Stoicism realized that emotions like anxiety, shame, or sadness often stem from self-judgment rather than qualities of a situation itself. By relating to oneself with radical compassion instead of criticism, emotional turbulence finds calmer shores. Implement a simple mindfulness exercise when stressed. Place hands gently on your heart, feeling its steady warmth. Silently repeat phrases like, "May I accept myself as I am," or "I give myself permission to feel without struggle." Send kindness into your core. Visualize your emotional pain as a crying child version of yourself. Provide nurturance through affectionate words, embraces, validation of their fear or hurt. Interrupt cycles of self-attack with parenting presence. Speak encouragingly to yourself like a cherished friend when personal frustration mounts. "You are doing the best you can right now. I understand this feels overwhelming, but you have strength inside to handle today." The Stoics knew that humans suffer more from lack of self-compassion than external causes. We attack ourselves ruthlessly for experiencing natural weakness, sensitivity, or troubles. With radical kindness, the inner world transforms from battlefield to sanctuary. Extend the same caring benefit of doubt to your feelings that you would a neighbor. Emotions become teachers, not tormentors, when received with care rather than condemnation. You relax through storms by gracing all within. Next time challenges trigger emotional reactivity, care for this part of yourself with patient understanding. Apply compassion first, advice later. Nurturing heals where judgment harms, master turbulence through love. Number 9. Be prepared by thinking through scenarios. The Stoics were vigilant about advanced disaster preparation, not just materially with food supplies, shelter, etc., but mentally rehearsing challenges likely to strain emotional resilience if survival proves necessary. Whether loss, arguments, crowd criticism, envision the crisis scenario fully to inoculate reactions. When you repeatedly play out personalized trigger situations in your mind, you foster calmer instinctive responses should real events manifest suddenly. Rational planning defeats impulsive fight-flight-freeze reactions, hijacking wisdom. If confrontations commonly inflame anger, visualize alternative pathways, pausing before responding, politely but firmly exiting discussions turned abusive, dialing emergency inspirations like beloved role models. Equip your mind's toolkit in advance. If anxieties around illness arise, research medical realities, demystifying frightening what-ifs so fear has less darkness to occupy when the need for caretaking inevitably comes. Displace worry with fact. Care with preparation. When we leave ourselves blind to emotional flashpoints recurrent in our lives, explosions catch us off guard and chaotic reactions rule the day. But by steeling ourselves through vivid Stoic pre-reflection, we stand ready to activate healthy responses before descending too far down the volcano. The philosopher Seneca wrote, "Rehearse for either tranquility or disaster. Then when the crisis emerges, the spirit will respond as you trained it beforehand. Master turbulent emotions through imagined exposure, gradually strengthening resilience muscle memory to withstand life's onslaughts." Number 10, surround yourself with positive emotional support. The Stoics understood emotions operate like contagious viruses, easily spread through continual close contact with infected carriers. We must steward our exposure carefully rather than assuming immunity. Audit your relationship circles and daily environs. Do these spaces nourish peace or chaos? Certain people and places breed toxicity, eroding emotional resilience until you mirror their gloom. Quarantine compulsive fixators, drama mongers, cynics draining energy. Limit time in sites of sadness like hospitals offering no chance for laughter. As Marcus Aurelius advised, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Probe your regular atmosphere. Does it relax focus into hope or constrict possibility? Read books, listen to music, occupy rooms with positive emotional energy charging your batteries. Keep yardsticks of delight like excited pets or children's bright curiosity close by to measure truth. Seeking inspiration, the Stoic philosopher Seneca purposefully walked every day through Rome's bustling markets to soak in the lively banter, camaraderie, and enthusiasm of traders rather than isolating. Uplifting community stirs emotional buoyancy and courage to counter hardship. Protect time for recreational joy and humor, releasing tension's grip. Play sports, tell jokes freely, dance with abandon, attend amusing shows. Laughter and levity reset spiraling feelings after absorbing society's heaviness all day. Balance burdens through buoyant cheer. Carefully curate and limit emotional environments, relationships, and input channels to nurture resilience and hope. Master feelings by consciously choosing whether to dwell in light or shadows. Number 11, be motivated towards an emotionally meaningful purpose. The Stoics knew that anchoring in pursuits uplifting to others curtails selfish impulses provoking emotional turmoil. Ground yourself in the greater good. When individual desires overwhelm, redirect passions as fuel for collective improvement rather than ego. What breaks your heart in this world that might become your daily purpose mending? Network compassionately with groups organized around that North Star. Find or build supportive community to nourish empathy's continuance beyond outrage's immediacy. Volunteer efforts actively bettering vulnerable people's lives breed emotional stability by locking into collective hopes beyond temporary setbacks. We suffer emotionally from disengagement from cooperative humanity working towards justice despite impediments. Commit to lend hands constructing shelters, beautifying neighborhoods, protecting ecosystems sustaining all. Choose professionally advancing visible social truths over solely accumulating personal wealth and status. Balance executive leadership with mentoring those needing mirrors of possibility. Uplift young voices, create scholarships and transparency programs. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius led the Roman Empire, yet identified as a member of the human race, first, stewarding citizen dignity and shared advancement earnestly. Model his guiding light, rending darkness within and without. An emotionally intelligent life interweaves one's livelihood and leisure around ceaseless contribution. What we need never differs from what the world needs. Plant your passion seeds in commune with other soil so all may feast. Our smallest acts of courage nourish more than we know. Number 12. Let things go and forgive others who have hurt or angered you. A core Stoic teaching stresses that clinging to old wounds, conflicts, or emotional pain ultimately weighs down our energy and obscures living presently. Master turbulent feelings by practicing intentional letting go rather than suppressing or avoiding hurt. This means proactively cultivating attitudes of forgiveness towards those who provoked past injuries, betrayals, or offenses, instead of perpetually blaming them for lingering distress. Wish them well, moving on, even understanding complex two-sided humanity without condoning harmful actions. Healing happens by refusing to let perpetrators occupy your mind endlessly when they no longer deserve space. Additionally, make ritualized efforts to consciously release traumatic memories themselves from demanding excessive attention over current decisions. Imagine packing painful imagery into boxes, then symbolically sending them downstream. Or write detailed chronicles of pivotal agony experienced, then burn the pages to represent converting remaining weight into light. Consider grief and grudges like choosing to drag heavy rocks behind you on a long journey when you have permission to drop them. Temporary bitterness protected emotional wounds, but staying chained prevents true freedom. Ask, how can I best care and advocate for my healed self now, rather than endlessly battling old phantoms keeping you hostage? The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote frequently about not wasting precious life force battling the unchangeable past, when each new day offers opportunity to redirect energies towards one's evolving purpose and relationships instead. Master emotions by dropping their leftover baggage so you walk unencumbered. Number 13. Take responsibility for your part. Stoicism stresses that during disputes which commonly provoke reactive anger or resentment, the path of wisdom means acknowledging one's own contribution, however unintended, rather than absolving oneself as pure innocent preyed upon unfairly. Even if the other party bears primary culpability, conflict inherently involves two participants. Carefully analyze your words or deeds preceding escalation even in subtle ways. Could simple miscommunications have been amended through humbler clarifying questions before tension mounted? Did you dismiss attempts to de-escalate once growing upset? Taking radical responsibility trains emotional mastery by short-circuiting reflexive victim mentality from hijacking self-possession during heated exchanges. You cannot single-handedly control others' conduct, only rigorously oversee your part as co-steward of shared environments. This neutral investigative mindset aligned with Stoic ethics recursively builds conflict resolution skills, gradually reducing defensive reactions over time. Through non-judgmental assessment of mismanaged cues, moments of offense become teachers rather than triggers catapulting destructive outrage. As Marcus Aurelius insisted, even apparent enemies teach us about remaining gaps in our patience, discernment, or kindness despite difficulty. Use fiery instances to uncover inner room for improvement beyond past innocence, then you hold the power to transform relationships stone by stone. Blaming solely outward keeps you emotionally chained to exterior vicissitudes despite Stoicism's call for self-mastery. Take responsibility amidst turbulence to guide all towards calmer waters. Your emotions belong to no one but you. Number 14. Keep following your principles and values. A central Stoic teaching urges students to cement unshakable allegiance to their highest ethical principles, no matter intense lobbying to abandon such codes under duress. Emotional mastery relies on overriding temporary urges to violate values when expedient. This means that if nonviolence represents a core pillar of your philosophy, you uphold peaceful resistance as weapon of choice, even when provoked by aggressive opponents or mentioned by allies as naive. If service guides you, persist in serving sacrificially despite poverty or dismissal by short-sighted critics. If creation nurtures your soul, keep building undaunted through economic famines threatening stability. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus trained followers imaginatively for the hardship of sticking to soul codes amidst tempting reasons to relax virtues for safety or approval. Strengthen inner resolve early before it faces true trial by fire. Revisit mission statements, visualizing scenarios of potential betrayal and recommitting anyway. Marcus Aurelius wrote himself notes to stand by philosophy at all costs, even unto death. Should his emperor role challenge Stoic compassion for the vulnerable. Fortify your foundations proactively so emotions stay reactions when the biggest storms hit. Petty opportunists often try coaxing converts from learned oaths through stick and carrot maneuvers. But by mastering self-discipline before such provocations, you become an emotional mountain, unmoved by passing complaints or flatteries. Your life's purpose weathers all seasons. Number 15. Lighten up and laugh. The Stoics understood that humor and laughter form crucial emotional release valves, preventing excessive hardness around life's constant frustrations. Master turbulent feelings by relaxing face and body into frequent joy, rather than just steely perseverance. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to sprinkle more oral wordplay and written comedic sketches between formal duties to counterbalance strains of leadership. Set reminders to manifest regular pleasure in order to sharpen perceptivity to everyday absurdities. Tell jokes freely, even poorly, chuckling at your own flops. Laugh during bad luck and missteps rather than just brewing dour victimhood. Momentarily play act, exaggerating the situation's folly until humor softens downcast blows. Carry lighter loads by handing disappointment's gravity over to merriment's buoyancy amidst sinking spells. When anger or resentment plague interactions, inject room for mutual human folly by apologizing with wit or goading erstwhile opponents into shared funny memories, easing contracted breaths. The Stoic Seneca cherished friends and students who challenged his intellectual seriousness using benevolent parody and clowning to unmask pretension, hiding his wisdom's accessible truth. Welcome trusted allies, nudging your solemnity towards frequent grinning. Stoicism freed seekers from emotion's melodrama by spotlighting our equal part participating in the grand comedy of crushed ambitions, exposed pretensions, and awkward miscommunications, defining our species as much as striving. Master turmoil through uncovering this unity of smiles. If you are listening to this, thank you for staying till the end. If you feel any of these Stoic lessons resonated with you today, feel free to start a Stoic discussion in the comments. I welcome Stoic discussions as they are what the great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca advised for. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, and if you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you find peace and serenity in the Stoic ways.